Agay, maraglapad man akong ulo. Inom sa kuha niya tableta para mawala ni. Maraga pa muhipoy man akong mga bukton. Ay, may nalang niapod ko yung tableta para ni. Ayay, marag wala gani may angay akong tiyan sa akong pamahaw ba? Naman po siguro ko'y tambal para sa hapto sa tiyan dire.
Hops, kadali lang higala. Nahibalo ka ba nga pwede ka madaot sa dili sakto nga pagtumar og mga medisina? Tungod kay sintetika ni, kikinahanglan gayud ang medical advice sa pagtumar ni ini. Busa, sulahi usa ang natural remedies. Ang Natural Remedies Encyclopedia adunay kapin sa 11,000 ka home remedies para sa sobra sa shitis-shitos ka mga balatian. Palit na sa Natural Remedies Encyclopedia. Sa Natural Remedies Encyclopedia, siguradong mas safe and healthy ka.
Kini ang programa nga makatod kanimo sa kabaguan. Katin-awan og dugang kahibalo alang sa kalambuan sa atong nasod. Programa nga mahimong tulay ngadto sa ahensya sa gobyerno aron ikaw ug ako ug atong nasod molambo. Mga pagtuki sa mga impormasyon nga makahatag natong dugang kaalam sa pagpangga sa atong yutang natawhan. We are your partners of hope. Makisayod, magpakabana, makikiusa. Sa kalambuan, maguban kita. Alright, welcome back sa ato ang program Partners of Hope. Kini inyo ang partner sa paglaom, Brother Edan Fuentes. And today, we have a very, again, special guest coming from Commission on Human Rights. And we have here with us Attorney Heva N. Salik, Information Officer 2 sa ato ang Commission on Human Rights Region 10. Welcome, Attorney.
Hello,
how are you?
Good morning. Good morning sa inyo ang tanan og sa tanan gatan-aw sa ato akong buntag.
All right. And thank you so much for accepting the invitation. And I understand this is not the first time that you have been our guest here, right?
I believe we've had a talk on our role as the Gender Ombud of the Philippines here in Hope Channel po.
All right, that's pretty nice. And today we are gonna be so glad no nga natay bisita din here from Commission on Human Rights. And kato ato mga viewers karon nga naa diyan natanaw sa atong YouTube channel, please do share and share this to everyone because again we are gonna be learning so much today from Commission on Human Rights. And also makita ni sa ato ang local channel, Channel 17, and sa ato ang Jade and Parasat Cable TV, that's gonna be Channel 25. Sa dili pa kita magsugod mga higala, let's watch the video coming from CHR.
Ang Komisyon sa mga Karapatang Pantao. Patuloy sa pagsulong ng dignidad at pagtanggol sa karapatang pantao ng bawat Pilipino. Itinatag ang Komisyon sa mga Karapatang Pantao na may layuning protektahan, itaguyod at panatilihin ang pantay na karapatan ng bawat Pilipino. Bilang isang institusyon na itinatag ng konstitusyon, ang CHR ay malaya at hindi maaaring impluwensyahan ng ibang sangay ng pamahalaan upang gampanan ang kanilang mandato. Tungkulin ng komisyon na magbigay serbisyo sa mga may kahinaan ang kakayahan, mga kabataan, kababaihan, mga taong nasa piitan, mga katutubo, manggagawa sa loob at labas ng bansa, lahat ng mga taong may iba't ibang katauhang pangkasarian, mga mamamayang nalabag ang kanilang karapatan, mga mamamayang may ginagampanang tungkulin sa gobyerno at pribadong sektor. Nakasaad ang lahat ng mandato ng komisyon sa ating saligang batas. Kasama din sa responsibilidad ng komisyon ang pagtataguyod, pagmamasid at patuloy na pagtuturo ng mga karapatang pantao na taglay ng bawat Pilipino. Kabilang narito ang karapatang mabuhay, maging malaya at magkaroon ng mga ari-arian. Ang karapatan sa kalusugan at social security, karapatang matuto at makapagtrabaho. ang Komisyon sa mga Karapatang Pantao. Itinatag noon pang 1987 upang isulong ang isang lipunang makatao at makatarungan. Lipunang may pagpapahalaga sa dignidad ng lahat.
Again, welcome back. This is your partner sa Paglaom, Brother Edan Fuentes. And again, this morning we have a very special guest coming from Commission on Human Rights, Attorney Heva N. Salik. Attorney, without further ado, what is the primary role of the Commission on Human Rights under the 1987 Philippine Constitution?
Okay, thank you, Ed, for that question. No, so the existence of the Commission on Human Rights naagyud na siya sa 1987 Philippine Constitution. So specifically, our mandate falls on promotion and protection as well as prevention of any kinds of human rights violations. Naapod may policy function. So kana nga protection nakabutang liha sa 1987 Constitution that we investigate on our own or upon complaint, no, kung naay mo duol sa mo ang kliyente on any kind of human rights violations, including that of civil and political rights. So that's our protection function. Naapod may ginatawag nga promotions, which is to establish a continuing education on human rights. Kasi syempre no, dili tanan nakasabot unsa bagyud ning human rights, what are the functions of our office. So naapod na siya. And the Philippines, no, naatay mga ginapirmahan nga mga treaties, conventions, or documents. It is the function of the Commission on Human Rights to monitor if ga-comply ba ang Philippines sa ingani nga mga treaties or conventions, no. So, as I have said, to summarize, no, protection, promotion, naapod prevention and policy, no, we recommend to the legislative, no, kung naay mga balaod nga that needs to be reviewed or amended, or there are certain human rights violations na wala pa so i-recommend namo siya sa Congress so that they can act on it, because they are the ones who have the function, no, to make laws. So strictly, and yan yung mandato ng aming opisina as provided under the 1987 Philippine Constitution.
All right, so that's protect, promote,
prevent, and then there's policy.
Policy. So 4 P's di ba
siya? Yeah, 4 P's na siya. For better remembering.
Okay, yes. Nada pa yung 4 P's yabo ng CHR. Okay, thank you so much. And as stated, CHR is an A or accredited NHRI, fully complying with the Paris Principles. I think you made mention nga natin mga international treaties and all of that. Tell us briefly about the Paris Principles.
Ang Paris Principles, Manggod, it sets the standards of what the National Human Rights Institution should adhere to. So, kami, the Commission on Human Rights, is the National Human Rights Institution of the Philippines, so we need to adhere to the principles of the Paris Principles, which are pluralism, independence, and then effectiveness, to be a valid NHRI of this country. Yun po yung Paris Principles.
Okay. All right. Interesting. You made mention of pluralism. Tell us more about it.
Yes. Ang pluralism po kasi, we have different sectors. So these sectors are categorized as vulnerable for being vulnerable to abuses or violences. So each sector should be represented, no, para ang kanilang issue can be brought to the proper agencies, no, or specifically that of Congress kung naay balaod nga kailangan ipasar. So pluralism means each vulnerable sector should be represented so that their issues could be put to the table and could be addressed. Yun po.
When you made mention about kanang sectors, would you be able to give us like an idea, or what are these sectors that you're talking about?
For specific sectors, like for example, women. Yan yung pinaka-ano.
Okay.
Children. Then we have persons with disabilities, no? Let's say the LGBTQIA+ community. So these are sectors, elderly Filipinos or elderly senior citizens rather. So ano pa ba? Our fisher folks. These are people who these are sectors or communities that are considered vulnerable.
Normally nga dali madaog-daog.
Oo,
Or-
because they have less provision in the law, for example. So
Okay.
dapat specific yung mga protection na binibigay sa kanila. Yun
Okay.
po.
Does CHR also play an important role in creating policies specifically for women? I think VAUSI
Oo. On our policy role, no, yung mga like for example, we conduct inquiries.
Oh, okay.
So, kung ano yung nakukuha naming mga information in the community or in the society, we bring it. No, katulad nga po nung sinabi ko, inilalabi namin sa
Okay.
Congress or sinasubmit namin yung reports namin that will form part of their role in crafting these legislations. So yun po.
Well, that's really good to know. For Region 10, how big is your area of responsibility?
We yung 7 provinces, no, like for Misamis Oriental, Misamis Occidental, Bukidnon, Lanao del Norte, may missing Camiguin. And kasi usually ang MISOC magkasama na po yan sa
Yes.
ano, no. But the entire of Region 10 ang scope ng CHR Region 10.
Ako kayo.
Oo, base 7 akong pagdumdum manggod base na ako na miss.
Naiduwang ha. Sige lang, kamo na.
So yun po ang area of responsibility ng Commission on Human Rights. We have an office in Cagayan de Oro and a sub-office in Iligan City.
Okay. So katong, let's say, if you're from Camiguin and you experience this kanang mga medyo dili maayo, so they have to come to Cagayan de Oro?
Yes, pwede din po sa ano kasi mas nearer ang Iligan sub-office.
Okay.
So they can refer it to the main office which is in Cagayan de Oro.
Okay.
A regional office rather, not the main office.
Asa din yung regional office day, attorney?
In corner Yakapin Rojas Street.
Yakapin Rojas.
Doon sa Kugon area
Kugon
siya
area,
actually.
okay.
Oo, so for accessibility
Okay.
purposes. So that's our office.
Okay. All right. And what are the usual activities that your commission conducts?
Again, no, we focus
For nga fees.
maugid na siya.
Maugid na siya.
As provided no naamang good may mandato under the Commission on under the Constitution, so we stick that. So for one, we conduct investigations no on human rights violations. We also have medyo malakas din yung aming promotions aspect, like for example conduct of lectures. We have legal clinic caravans no to reach the far-flung areas. We have community-based dialogues between stakeholders, like for example the PNP, the military, AFP, the local government unit, to discuss on issues that are happening in their area. No, how can we come with a better solution as stakeholders or as agents who are tasked to address this issue? So, yun yung mga functions namin and tasks. As I have said, no, yung investigation, di good na siya mawala. Oo. Our investigations also, meron din kaming legal na yung nagre-resolve if there is a human rights violations in the complaints that are brought to the office. So yun yung mga tasks namin.
And when you made mention about human rights violations, what are the common violations that are happening? Normally that goes sa inyong agency or sa commission.
Oo, syempre when we talk about human rights violations, these are violations done by state or duty bearers or state actors rather, no, yung obligasyon ng representative ng government that they failed to do. So sometimes no, yung for example yung mga investigations or mga warrantless arrest like that, no, or yung mga detention, no, there are for example in instances of detention, no, ano ba yung mga experiences na nangyayari sa ating persons deprived of liberty, no. Medyo marami-rami din po ang aming VAUSI cases, no, or violations against women, abuses against women. Then we also sagol-sagol naman good na siya, no. So but most particularly with regards to our role on human rights violations, ganun yung mga reports na nakukuha namin. Opo.
Okay. And you made mention that you also conduct your own investigation, right?
Of course, yes. Oo. Ang meaning ng on our own, motu proprio, even without the complaint of a client, if it's an outright human rights violation, the commission can conduct its own investigation on the matter. So, dili na may muhulat nga na ay mo reklamo pa nga kliyente.
If it's so evident siguro,
Yes,
medyo,
yes, oo.
wala man ninyo gibuhat ni, ano yung gibuhat? Like, okay, kanang katugingon nimo like nag-i-arrest ni mga tao, wala kay warrant of arrest. And
Yes, then it's all over the news. So,
Yes.
di po na mo pwedeng turn a blind eye.
Magpakabutaw-bungol na lang.
Oh,
okay.
definitely not. Or even if it's not that high profile nga
Yes.
kaso, pero it has come to our knowledge, muadto gyud ang amo ang protection unit.
Okay, I'm pretty sure nga ato mga viewers karon mas nakasabot na gyud siguro sa function sa ato ang Commission on Human Rights. And it's really nice to have this kind of program, no, because the people that don't know it yet, they would be enlightened ba nga, oh, this is how they do it. Because normally, medyo, ngano man, anak mo ng mga questions good. So it's really good that you're able to explain it to us. I think you made mention of agencies. What are your partner agencies, or who are these agencies?
Technically, ang CHR, lahat dapat partner niya,
Yes,
no? Kasi
yes.
yung mode of referral namin, no? We would need to refer it to the proper agency to act on it. But, syempre, marami kaming partner agencies sa government agencies. Like, for example, all of the existing government agencies, like the police, the Philippine National
Yes.
Police, AFP, and I think the Commission Regional Office, has proud pud mi ana nga maayo among relations with other
Okay.
government agencies. Another aspect of partnering is ang mga partner na CSOs or
CSO means?
civil society organizations.
Okay.
No, they are those that represent a certain sector.
Yes.
So makig-partner pud mi sa ilaha for they also have functions that actually deal with protecting those who are victims, no, of human rights violations. So wide ang scope sa Region 10.
Dako, tanan na cover na siguro ba?
Okay. It's what makes us effective,
Yes.
no? Kung naami mga partner agencies, our referrals become nagiging effective siya kasi na-actionan ng aming mga partners.
Nabay mga referrals nga okay, madara ni siya. Would you also advise nga ma'am or sir, okay ra ni nga inani madala ra ning istorya unsa man, how do you do it, like let's say mga minor lang nga mga complaints?
Of course naay aspects sa mo ang protection that we allow the parties to talk.
Lupo ng taga pamayapa.
Mediation, mga ingana ba?
Okay.
So, like for example, a case of vowsy. So, naay support na factor. So, we would let the parties sit down on unsa ba gyud ang mahatag, mga ingana ba?
So kung it can be fixed, then you are gonna, okay, it can be fixed like this. Ana yapon.
Pero not to the point of
Mag-advise, no?
compromising or
okay.
mawala na ang liability.
Yes.
Pwede gyud
So
na
naagid
pwede.
yapon kay like, okay. All right,
Sige.
that's interesting. In celebration of this year's Elderly Filipino Week, the Commission supports the National Commission on Senior Citizens' goal of highlighting the right to work of older person. Is there really a right stating that older people have to work? Kasabot man ta karon nga na mga certain age, di ba? So how do you do about it?
So atong i-reconcile, no, kay when it comes to rights, dili lang ta mo focus sa domestic
Yes.
laws na to. Ang ato ang naatay ginatawag nga ICESCR or International Convention on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights that recognizes the right to work of every person
okay.
regardless of the age. So that alone pwede na siya nga basis nga everyone, kahit na senior citizens na or elderly na siya right to work. No?
Okay.
In the same manner that we also have a Senior Citizens Act here in the Philippines where we recognize the rights of our senior citizens. So, technically, on an international view, pwede kahit sino
Yes.
magtrabaho. Wala din po tayong batas or there is no law that says that anyone who is an elderly cannot work. It's just that in aspects of the government, no, for civil service,
Yes.
may limitation yung age, like 65 years
65,
old. It's a mandatory requirement for retirement.
Yes.
So, if the question is if the elderly people are allowed to work and they have the right to work, definitely they have the right to work. Yun po.
So if they want to continue, I still want to work at 66. How do you go about it? So dapat retire na ka 65.
Kasi
no?
may batas po tayo
Yeah,
sa
nga,
civil
65.
service na 65
Okay,
lang.
okay.
Oo. Unless yung mga private agencies, meron silang policies that do not allow 65 years old and above. No?
I think
So,
there was a viral post on Facebook na nag-work siya in a call center nga, medyo elderly na siya ba? So, okay, that's really good
May
to know.
discretion kasi yung mga private. Tsaka sa outside other countries, they allow senior citizens to work.
I think there was a post sa Jollibee outside.
Yes,
Nga,
oo.
I think he's already an elderly but
Yes.
still was able to work ba? That's really interesting, no? Okay. Does CHR support SOGI? Okay. If so, why is there a need to understand SOGI as well as the LGBTQ community?
Because of course we support SOGI because we support everyone, regardless of their preferences for whatever. But for the information of everybody, SOGI is sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression. No, so your question was, why is there a need to understand? You need to understand SOGI kasi ang SOGI hindi naman po yan individual lang to those who are members of the LGBTQIA+ community. You can be heterosexual and you have SOGI. So understanding of SOGI boils down to the point of respect for everyone.
Respect for everyone, okay.
So hindi lang siya sa part ng ano. So pag naintindihan mo siya ng mabuti, that's why the commission supports it because it's a manner of expression. So we have to respect everyone's freedom of expression. So yun yung rason, no? Also in the same manner that our LGBTQIA+ community have less recognition in laws.
Yes.
No, kasi wala tayong batas.
No, that's right.
Understanding SOGI allows you to understand where
The
yung
LGBT.
sa
So you understanding SOGI, you would be able to understand where these people are coming from.
Yes, exactly. Pero kumbaga all-encompassing po yung SOGI. Kumbaga lahat na niya. Hindi lang specific doon. Okay, yun po
so
yung
basically understanding what humanity or what that person is. Okay.
Exactly.
All right, and it's your right to express whatever you want. All right.
Kumbaga ang SOGI is a general concept.
Yes,
no?
okay. And what are the other tasks of CHR that most people do not know?
Okay.
I'm sure we are able to learn so much right now, but I think there are still some that we don't know about CHR.
Of course. Oo, kasi kung ano lang yung nababasa mo sa Constitution. I think people should also know that the Commission on Human Rights is the gender ombud of the Philippines. No, we are mandated under the Magna Carta of Women as the gender ombud of the Philippines. So isa din yan sa parang, kumbaga isa sa main functions namin na hindi ata alam ng karamihan kasi human rights lang, human rights. So that's one, no, gender ombud, and also we are similarly the child ombud of the Philippines, no. So although every right is recognized as gender ombud and child ombud, may specific functions kami in line with the 1987 Philippine Constitution that focuses on gender and children's rights. Yun po.
Okay. So I'm sure that we are learning so much right now. For Region 10, what are the best practices that probably you can flaunt or you would be able to say that you're happy about or proud about compared to others?
Siguro timely gyapon na partners of hope, no. The Region 10, the regional office is proud to say that we have great partnership with our yung sinabi ko nga po, no, medyo malakas ang aming partnership with government agencies and CSOs na which helps us further our mandate. So that's one thing that I think we are proud of. Kasi pare-parehas naman po yung role ng lahat ng regional offices.
Yes.
However, for the past 6 years, the Commission has been trying to, parang ano ba talaga ang CHR? Sino ang CHR? O nasaan ang CHR, no? Binigyan nga po kami ng budget noong 2017 na napakaliit. So I think we used that as an opportunity to strengthen our partnership para mismo among mga partners, in case that they would have cases to handle, they can refer it to us, or in the vice versa, no. So kapag malakas ang partnership, nagiging effective yung ano, no. So that's one thing that the regional office is proud of.
And you made mention that you got CHR Region 10 has a good relationship with the LGUs in Region 10. Why is that so? I understand that you made mention about you are really trying to advertise what CHR is all about. But what makes your relationship with LGUs really, really awesome sa Region 10?
Kasi yung partnership, like for example, we are katulad ng crafting of the anti-discrimination ordinance here in Cagayan de Oro, City of Cagayan de Oro, no? So that's one of the few cities that are implementing anti-discrimination ordinances. So kasama yung CHR doon. or in the implementation of local policies, we see to it that they partner with us. For example, para mas matibay ang ano. So I think that's important. That's very important. Kay no man is an island nga, no?
Yes.
Hindi isang pwedeng ahensya lang ang kumilos kasi kailangan din niya yung partnership sa ibang ahensya. So I think that's important.
Okay. All right. And one of the questions that I have here is, I understand that you just celebrated International Humanitarian Law. What were the activities that you had?
Mostly ang amo ang International Humanitarian Law in August was more on information dissemination,
Okay.
specifically with the security sector, no, like for example, Armed Forces of the Philippines, refresher. Kasi sila naman po talaga yung main actors ng batas na iyan.
Yes.
Another thing that the Commission did was we conducted a community-based dialogue among our stakeholders on the recent, kasi meron po tayong bagong batas, yung children in situations of armed conflict, which is unique to us here in Mindanao. No, maraming bata na nagiging biktima ng
Yes.
armed conflict. So how do the actors of this law
Yeah.
participate? So may marami kaming nakuhang issue po doon that needs attention. So that's also the reason why community-based dialogues are very important, because issues come out and then we refer it to the proper agencies na aksyonan nyo na ito.
Okay.
Okay, like for example, lack of facilities for children who are victims of armed
Yes.
conflict. Wala. So ganun po yung ginawa namin ng humanitarian law. Pinatibay yung refresher on the IHL law, and then information dissemination on the CSAC law, tapos yung community-based dialogue po.
Okay. You made mention about looking into, there's no specific, let's say, you made mention yung mga victims ng armed war, na wala silang mastehan or something like that.
Specific pa, opo.
You made mention that you did propose it. So, what happened? Is there any improvement towards it?
Bago pa kasi po siya. Wala pang
okay.
proposal na nangyari. We found out na kasi parang walang pang facilities.
Yeah,
Kasi
facility,
for example,
yeah. Okay,
no?
yeah, example.
Our Bahay Pag-asa caters to specific lang.
Okay.
Hindi siya kasama doon yung enumeration yung victims of armed conflict. So, from that discussion,
okay.
it was realized, tapos mahirap, ang batas kasi parang from the wording of the law, ang last na ano ng bata kung saan siya is with the armed force military, nearest military camp. So hindi rin safe yon, no?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So there's a need to discuss now on how children
okay.
should be handled once they are taken out from the situation of armed conflict.
Well, that's really interesting, no? Because you made mention there's no facility. Because if you're gonna put them sa camp, they're still gonna be exposed to this, right?
Oo, nakakatakot din.
Okay.
Oo. But
So there's still that trauma. Unless if you're gonna put them in a facility that they would be able to understand, I should be experiencing this and not that kind of situation.
although they have the means, no? May means yung ating
Yes.
military camps. Kaya lang yung safety and security ang iniisip natin.
Okay, so more on emotional and all of that. Okay, that's interesting. All right, and also one of the questions that I have here is, what is the stand of CHR in terms of extrajudicial killing and the death penalty?
So, ato sigurong
Separate?
separate. Siyempre,
Isa-isaon, okay.
Technically, extrajudicial killings by definition are those killings that are done with an encounter with the for example, state actors na hindi dumaan sa proseso,
Yes.
no? Or did not have any judicial process. So, it's a clear outright violation of one's rights. So,
Yes.
being violative of the law, syempre, against tayo doon. Kasi what we want is to have a clear delivery of justice, yung
Yes.
ganyan. So, the Commission on Human Rights has always been firm in our stand that dadaan sa legal na
Yes.
proseso, no? As to death penalty, I think we have been consistent in our statements, especially sa amuang central office,
Yeah.
that the commission, since we signed conventions that abolish death penalty,
Yes.
and then it's kumbaga, the law has means or processes of reformation, no? Para kasing ang death penalty is an end to
Yes.
so we stand against it for purposes of we value the
Human life.
human life, definitely.
Yes.
At saka yung yung batas naman natin is
Yeah.
seeks to reform, no? So it's quite contradictory to what we lobby in the law and then kung ano yung so reformational justice pa rin ang atin. So death penalty kasi parang a little it's not the outright solution to
It's
the
not the absolute
problem.
solution, should you say,
very,
okay.
very true. So yun po yung stand ng aming opisina.
That's really good to know. So basically, it's like, at the end of the day, there's still a chance for this person to change for the better. Because if you're gonna end it right now, there's that opportunity may not be happening. Right? Okay.
At saka meron naman pong mga detention facilities. Maybe we should strengthen on that, no? Kesa yung
Education.
yeah, exactly. So paano sila ma-integrate pabalik sa society so that they will not do anything more sa na ginawa nila
So
dati.
if there's life, there's still a chance for
Yes,
change.
parang
Okay.
ganyan. At saka we hold a very high regard on the right to life, no?
Right.
So it's hindi good siya non-negotiable kumbaga. So that's one of the reasons, no, on a personal note,
Yeah, I
I think,
understand.
no, na that death penalty should not be revived in our area. Here
And
in the Philippines.
the last person we remember is Leo Chagaray. Was that him?
Yes, oo, parang yon.
I think that was the time
1997?
during Estrada.
Oo, matagal na.
Yeah,
Na. So every change of administration, lagi na lang pong debate kung to revive or not
Yes,
to
yes.
revive, no? But I think that we are forgetting that we support the United Nations na abolition of death penalty. Then we are a state party to that. So nakakalimutan natin minsan yon.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And before we continue, I understand we got a pretty interesting topic to discuss more about it. Before we go to that, let's watch this Faith of the Nation.
Nakadungog na kita sa pulong nga giingon Golden Rule. Bantog kini nga pinulungan. Murag halos tanan relihiyon nag-adaptar niini. Although ang original nga pinulungan gikan sa atong Ginoong Hesus. Nasuwat ka na sa Matthew City, versikulo 12. Ang pulong nga nag-ingon, buhata ngadto sa uban ang gusto nimo nga buhaton sa uban nga anha kanimo. Alang nako mga kaigsuonan, kini nga biblical revelation, the words from the Lord Jesus Christ, is what we call the foundational principle of what we believe today of the promotion of equality of human rights. Ang katungod sa mga tao nga angayan tahuron sa uban. Muna nga akong ganahan sa Commission on Human Rights. Kaya ang Commission of Human Rights, sa ilang ngalan pa lang, ilan ang gibarugan ang usa sa foundational nga principle nga gipadayag ni Ginoong Hesus, gitudlo ni Ginoong Hesus, kalabot sa relasyon sa tao ngadto sa isig katao. Ang Commission on Human Rights mao ang ahensya sa atong gobyerno nga although independent siya, doon na siya ay katungod sa pagpang-imbestigar sa mga violation nga nahimo sa usa ka tawo o sa grupo sa tao o sa usa ka organisasyon o sa ubang organisasyon nga wala mutahod sa katungod sa uban. Muna akong ganahan ini kay biblical gyud ni siya nga agency. This is the agency that guards people's equality. Naagid mga kaigsuonan sa Galacia Kapitulo 3, versikulo 28. Pulong sabni ni San Pablo. Matud pa niya, walay Hudiyo ni Grisyanhon, walay ulipon ni gawas, walay lalaki ni babae, kay kamong tanan usara diha kang Kristo Jesus. Meaning, as far as God's point of view is concerned, walay usa ka rasa sa tao nga ibabaw sa lain. Walay usa ka segment sa society nga ibabaw sa lain. Doon na tayo equality. Ang lalaki o ang babae pareha. Ang Amerikano o ang Pilipino pareha. Ang itom o ang puti pareha. Kung ato na siyang supakon, gisupak nato ang gitawag og golden rule. Nga gipabantayan ka nato sa Dios ang sulundan nga maayo. Kay ang tugbang gud pod ining golden rule, maingon nga ang iyang positive nga statement nag-ingon man, buhata ang imong gusto nga buhaton sa uban kanimo, buhata kana sa imong isig katao. Ang tugbang ni ana mausab gihapon. Kung dili ka gusto nga buhatan ka sa ubang tao sa butang nga ilang ginahimo kanimo, nan ayaw sa nagbuhata kanila. So, positive or negative, the golden rule stays as golden rule. It should be observed by all people. And the Commission on Human Rights are there to safeguard that equality of rights. Muna mga kaigsuunan nga, nalipay ka ikaw nga, ni atay departamento ni atay ahensya sa atong pagamahanan nga, ang iyag yung katungod ang pagbantay ragyod sa mga katawhan, nga dili sila mayatakan sa ilang isig katao. Kay kung muyatak na gani ang isig katao sa iyang isig katao, angay siyang gukdon sa pangagamahanan. Sa Bible, mausab na gihapon. Kay gani ang atong makita sa Matthew chapter 25. Ang basihanan sa Dios, kinsay iyang dalon sa langit o kinsay dili, ang gibuhat man sa tao ngadto sa iyang isig katao. Gigamit niya ang pulong nga nag-ingon, kaniadto sa diha pa ako sa yuta, sa gigutom ako inyo akong gipakaon, sa giuhaw ako inyo akong gipainom, sa hubo ako inyo akong gibistihan, sa nagmasakiton inyo akong giampuan, sa ako na as bilangguan inyo akong giduaw. Usa ka na kakatungdanan nga angay pamalandungon sa matag usa ka tawo. Ang iyang pagtahod sa katungod sa iyang isig katao ug ang iyang pagpaningkamot nga ang tawo nga gidaog-daog mapabarog niya ug ubanan niya kini, unongan niya kini sa pagbarog nga respetuhan sab siya sa ubang katawhan. Higala, atong paluyuhan ang Commission on Human Rights kay mauna ang ahensya sa gobyerno nga nagpanalipod sa atong katungod ingon nga mga lumlupyo. Mao kini ang Faith and the Nation sa atong programs of channel nga Partners of Hope. Pastor Edwin Gulfan, inyong alagad.
Thank you so much, Pastor Edwin Gulfan. It's really nice to know that CHR also is part of kanabitong naapo na siya sa Bible ba nga ga-defend sa rights sa mga tao, no matter what your race is, no matter what your figure is, no matter the color of your hair, you are gonna be protected. And we are so fortunate here in the Philippines that we have CHR. And thank you so much again for being here, because I'm pretty sure nga ang ato ang viewers nakasabot kung unsa ang functionality sa CHR and what they do for you and for me and for every one of us Filipinos. Kaya naman, naagin na siya nga kanabitong independente nga klase nga ahensya or commission sa gobyerno nga mag-protect sa imo. Kabalo ka nga, at the end of the day, someone is gonna be there to protect you should the actors of the government do what is not part of the law. Right? So thank you so much. Now, as we continue, as a CHR employee, what makes your job so fulfilling?
Siguro mo focus na lang ko sa kung function, no?
Function, okay.
So I have been an information officer with the promotions division for the past 5 years. So siguro mahimo siya fulfilling pag makasabot na gyud akong audience kung unsay mandato sa komisyon sa mga karapatang pantao. For the longest time that we have been trying to put a clear path kung ano ba po talaga. And then from our engagements with the community, naagid mo abot sa opisina nga mag-complain, mag-file complaints because they finally understand the role of the commission on how they can be able to, kung paano ma-further yung ano nila, mga hinanaing nila because their rights have been violated. Okay. So, just the mere, kasi to work with the commission, you really have to have an advocacy. Kasi kung wala ka niyan, bali na lang ka. So, you have to act on your advocacy. So, that's what makes it fulfilling when you are able to carry out in your job, no? So, lumalabas din kasi yan in your engagements with other offices, communities. So, for me, on a very personal note, that's what makes it fulfilling.
All right.
Okay.
You made mention about your audience being able to understand what CHR is really about.
Yes,
How is it going so far?
Siguro, like I said, no, madami na kami nagiging partners, tapos so I think it's going on a positive note. Para for us, no, here in the regional office, no, as long as we napapaintindi mo ng maayos sa clients mo, and then you act on their complaints, no, so they understand that very well. So,
and I'm not sure if you know the figures, like how many people go to your office and how many are being attended to?
Wala man gud mi pilian ay sir, tanan mosulod sige go. So dili gyud mi pwede. So wala di pud na ako maingon nga mingaw kay everyday gyud na
Bibuhi kayo siya.
yes, then our investigation is very busy as well. So so far so good no sa akong pag in my stay with the commission maupo ako
And you've been there for how many years?
5 years,
Oh,
more than
okay.
5 years. Opo.
And planning to make sure that your advocacies will
Yes,
be happening.
definitely.
and-
Definitely. Opo.
Okay. All right. If we have some issues and concerns regarding human rights violations involving civil and political rights, and you made mention that we can go directly there, right?
Yes, oo.
Wala mo'y, and your office is near Kugon Market.
Yes, oo, yes.
And can we go directly to CHR or PNP or DSWD? So asa man, normally, what are the cases that you cater man? Like, okay, dito ka na mo sa PNP, sa DSWD. What do you normally cater man? Or how do you do it?
May unta ko na ate PowerPoint presentation. Mag-ano na siya. If a person's right has been violated by a private person, no, panalitan na ay gipatay, na ay gidunggap, na ay gikawatan, ana ba, you go to the Philippine National Police, no? But if, for example, nito kag sa police, wala gi-aksyon na ng imong concern or wala sila gibuhat, you may go to the Commission on Human Rights. Okay, so we cater to human rights violations, meaning mga pang-aabuso ng karapatang pantao na dapat sana inaksyonan ng ating state actors. So para malinaw yung ano. Pwede ba ma'am, for example, violation, binubugbog ng asawa niya, pwede ba kaming pumunta sa'yo sa CHR? Definitely, because we are the gender ombud of the Philippines,
yes.
no? But pwede rin na pag-abot sa mo, mag-investigate me, etc. Pag humanggid sa final no resolution that there really is a violation, we can refer it now to the proper agency. So assistance na yun. So the question is, kailan pwede bang pumunta kami sa CHR, PNP o DSWD?
Yes.
Pwede kang pumunta sa lahat na yan, no? In the event that your rights have been violated, may system of referral lang kami na sinusunod ang kanya-kanyang ahensya. So if these agencies can all act on it, yes, they can all act on it, of course. Kasi may mga mandato kami to act on violations of human rights. So yun po.
Okay. So say if a person has this kind of issue and if it's not being attended to by these by the actors of the government, then they can
go to the Commission on Human
okay.
Rights. Oo. Kasi as
Like,
we watch over, no?
watchdog gyapon siya.
Pero sa ombudsman manggod na siya nga ano. Pero kanang ang trabaho manggod sa state actors is to respect, protect and fulfill human rights.
Yes.
If they violate that, it's our duty as the Commission on Human Rights to tell them or to remind them that they should be acting on these issues. Yun po.
Okay. And if they're not gonna do it, then that's the time that you will be filing a complaint? Or how?
Meron kaming resolution, no? If
Okay.
nag-file talaga ng complaint yung ano, then we see to it yung legal namin or yung investigation namin after investigation sees may mga parameters kasi yan. If it is considered as a human rights violation, then we refer it. For example, naagid violation na buhat ang
Yes.
isa ka state actor,
Yes.
so you can refer it to their main agency, no? Or sa civil service. Or if it constitutes a crime, gyud adto dayon ka sa ombudsman or mga ingana. They are, or civil service, they are these agencies na
nga.
makapataw og they can act on it, no? Sila pwede mag-penalize rather
Okay.
sa mga ano. Wala kasi kaming judicial function or hindi kami
Mag-penalize and all of that.
yes,
So you just make, we made mention about resolution. Okay, this is what's gonna be done and this is how it should be. However,
it should have been done.
and for the implementation of yung mga silot and all of that, it's gonna be these agencies of the government.
Yes, oo.
Okay. All right. And you got contact numbers sa inyong office. Perhaps our viewers there might be able to call you, or do you
Yes,
have any
oo.
websites?
It's all over our Facebook page, no? Ang CHR Cagayan de Oro and then CHR 10 Facebook page. We also have nakabandera dun yung hotline numbers namin so that anytime 24/7 you may report it, and all our landlines nandoon na din po sila. So just go to our Facebook page CHR 10 and CHR Cagayan de Oro and you can contact us there. Or we're in the second floor of Ong's building in corner Yakapin Rojas.
Yakapin
Streets.
Rojas,
Oo.
okay. I'm trying to figure out asa ng Rojas nga, nga part no.
Access Gym, kabalo ka, sir.
Access Gym, okay.
Mauna na siya.
Okay,
We're the
I know
last
where-
part of Kugon. Pagawa
Okay.
sa nasa Kugon.
Okay. And any announcements or updates that we probably need to hear from you? Let's say, oh, in the next few days we have this, we have that.
Musulod na ang November and December, so the Commission will be celebrating the 18th day campaign to end violence against women, and also our Human Rights Consciousness Week is on December 10. So we will provide updates na lang sa amo ang Facebook page, and then we will contact our partners on how to go about this activities, no?
Okay.
So kasi sa amin in the Commission, the more that people know, the more that there are lives saved or there are no more human rights violated. So spread the knowledge lang.
Okay. And you made mention that you normally go to the far-flung areas para mas makasabot sila pod.
Yung mga education activities
Okay.
namin. Oo, yun
Okay.
po.
And yep. Any messages to the public, to our viewers right now? Probably encouraging them that if you, well, we're not expecting any kinds of violences that will be happening to them, but if
Yes,
there are any, they should not be afraid and all of that, right?
Yes, of course, no. Kasi functioning naman lahat ng agencies natin with regards to promotion and protection of human rights. And please don't forget that the Commission on Human Rights is always open, no, 8 to 5 office hours. But we have our hotlines, which is 24/7. So if you ever need the assistance of our commission with any kind of issues, no? So feel free to contact our regional office through our regional director, Attorney John IVF Abrina, and our entire office po. Yun
All
po.
right. And thank you so much for again gracing or accepting the invitation for being interviewed here, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of our viewers don't really know what the functionalities are of CHR, and I'm pretty sure that they are, or including me, learned so much this morning. And thank you so much again, hoping that we would be able to invite you later on what are the things that you would want us to understand, or you would want us to know more about CHR. And thank you so much ato mga viewers nung natanaw karon sa ato ang Partners of Hope. We are so happy that we have learned so much this morning together with Attorney Heva Salik. And this is your partner sa paglaom, Brother Edan Fuentes. See you next time.